Hello, everybody, and this is going to be a rather strange video for us because we're mostly doing an update video around the fact that a lot of the online dueling platforms are being taken down by either Nas or Konami or some combination of the two, or even another third party. Specifically, if you guys have been paying attention, Dueling Network has officially been, well, legally shut down, and even the Yu-Gi-Oh! Pro website has been attacked recently. What this really does mean for us is that it's gonna be a bit difficult for us to do Yu-Gi-Oh recordings. Although if you were lucky enough to have the clients before the websites got attacked, you should be okay because, well, they're not. The guys that are doing the attacks failed to realize that you have to take down more than just the website in order to, disable people from using it.
Joke's on them. Their attack has failed.
Only kind of, because now the games are no longer getting additional players; they're just stuck with the same players. So, um, there's a lot of speculation going around as to why not Naz and Konami are doing this. The major speculation is the fact that we're supposed to be getting three different Yu-Gi-Oh titles this year. We have a confirmed release, but not a release date for the new 3DS game that's supposed to be free to play on launch with microtransactions, which I'm not necessarily a big fan of. But after completing the story, it's supposed to fully unlock. It's a complicated mess that I've only looked into briefly. Apparently, there's going to be a mobile Yu-Gi-Oh game, and I personally am not that fond of that because, well, one, I don't have a phone that can actually play it. Curse you, Pokemon Go, and two, it's a mobile game, so it's probably going to be laden with microtransactions as well. Microtransactions isn't necessarily the worst thing that could happen to it, but it's probably going to be a limited interface and card pool to begin with. So its launch will probably be, disastrously minimal. And then, of course, there is the PC online dueling title that they're attempting to release that we know very little about. Just that they're planning on releasing it. That, if being the fact that it's actually corporately sponsored by Konami, will also probably have significant microtransactions in it. Although the card pool should be significant enough to where it might be worthwhile. If you guys recall, Konami actually tried this last year or the year before with a thing called Yu-Gi-Oh Arena, and it was actually an okay service. It died after a couple of months because nobody was using it, and it lived off of microtransactions, which nobody bothered to use.
The bottom line is money.
Yes, the bottom line is money. So, Cloud, what are your thoughts about the current situation of online dueling for Yu-Gi-Oh?
In the context of games coming out by the actual people who hold the Yu-Gi-Oh copyright and the intellectual property rights, it makes sense that they would want people to not be attached to free to play systems, especially DN, which gave you a complete card pool, like every card that's come out since the very beginning, even cards that don't even properly exist in the TCG. Naturally, they wouldn't be able to sell the games. Therefore, they must, and rightfully so, by the way, ask people who are using their content to cease and desist, so that they can sell the games at the full price at first. Because I have a feeling that after maybe, I don't know, 6 months to a year, then the free to play systems will be back online. They'll get the green light because by then Konami will have sold the games, and then when the prices get reduced, then they don't really care as much for sales. Well, rather they do care for sales, but they're lowering the price so that more people would want to buy it.
Hmm. I honestly don't know. It's it's a weird thing when it comes to Yu-Gi-Oh because I have long ago stopped paying for card packs myself, simply because I hate the way that the current metagame the current game actually is in order to actually remain competitive. It's way too goddamn
The
fast.
competitive scene is dumb. I've been to the competitive scene a couple times. I've never been to regionals, but you can feel how outmatched you are when you go up against one of these guys.
Yeah. that with that comes the fact that well, I still enjoy Yu-Gi-Oh, or at the very least a lot of the concepts that it has, and I still enjoy playing the game. But I don't like getting my ass creamed in competitive over and over again. So it's really nice for me and my friends to have an online platform where we can meet up and play that way without without having to actually spend money. In the event that the PC Online platform is actually free to play and it has a decent progression system. I'm looking at you, freaking Hearthstone, with your it takes a whole one. It takes a whole, what is it, 30? Yeah, 30 games in order to purchase a single booster pack. That's
Jesus
ridiculous.
Christ.
But if it has a better progression system than at least that, then I'll more certainly actually take a decent look into it. But that's what I'm. That's really what I'm worried about when it comes to this, because with the online dueling scene being hit so hard, we've heard tell of a lot of the middle rank professional players just flat out refusing to compete anymore because they no longer have a reliable way of testing their deck. The algorithms for shuffling and random card generation in the online platforms were significantly better at generating a more pure experience than human error and human input usually was.
So it sounds to me like eventually the online platforms have to come back because already people are crying foul. Like, they should especially heed pressure from the people who compete, like at the top level, the people who win year after year. Those are the people who they got to listen to, because those are the people who sink like most of Konami's income in the Yu-Gi-Oh in the Yu-Gi-Oh franchise. Or is it a franchise? I don't even fucking know.
It's technically a
Okay.
franchise. I mean, you have a bunch of different eras in it,
Yeah.
so.
I'm saying that um, if you disrupt the status quo, I mean, if the players are unhappy, if they refuse to play, then they're gonna lose money in tournaments. They may make money selling the games, but they're gonna lose money in the tournaments. That is, if they even make any money on the. I think you and I had talked about that once. That like they don't really make any money off of tournaments. It's mostly.
Uh, it's likely that they actually do, but not nearly the significant things that we would assume that they would.
Yeah. Um, Overall, I think that by sheer force of pressure from all the different constituents in the Yu-Gi-Oh community, then I think eventually there's gonna be. Well, I mean, you can't just have, and then you can't just have one free-to-play platform. There's gonna be more than one.
Right.
Because like DN, they were sponsored by online card websites like TCG Player or Troll and Toad. I never even really used Troll and Toad. I mean, it was nice that they gave you a price index for all the cards. I have picked up cards from TCG Player though. They're really good.
Mm-hmm.
So anybody who is affiliated with a card website, um, who can, in a mutual exchange, help cards get sold and people will get to play and everybody's happy. I think that ideally is what's going to be. I actually can't believe they're still making Yu-Gi-Oh games like on the consoles like they did back in the old days where you had like Eternal Duelist Soul or the World Championship 2004. Some games that I've gotten.
Yeah, honestly, handheld is where Yu-Gi-Oh has always had its strongest market. The full console release is kind of
Oh
blow.
yeah, look,
I mean, I like Forbidden Memories, but that doesn't mean it's a good game. And I really like Duelist of the Roses, and I can actually say that that's a good game. But Falsepawn Kingdom is not a good
yeah,
game.
I was gonna say Falsebound Kingdom has a very awkward place in my memory.
All right, then, guys. That's pretty much what we wanted to update. The videos that we have been making were from before the end finally got closed down, and we might actually still be able to do a couple more structure decks thanks to the fact that we both actually have the Percy client, so we should be able to use that, assuming that we can actually get the damn matchmaking system to work. All right, guys, that wraps us up for this update. And be safe, everybody, and thanks for listening.
Bye bye, everyone.